about people is that when they see that this thing is going a wrong way, they will start pushing it. And that's how they'll keep pushing it until the rightful sources, that is the courts and maybe police or people get to see that something is really, really happening.
Truth or lie, right? They put it out there. And at that moment, already the whole public, the community becomes divided immediately. Because some people will not take this person's side, some people will take that person's side.
The Constitution has stated that you are innocent. Once you are brought to something, you are presumed innocent, as if you did not do it at all.
Good.
Till the court has found you guilty.
One thing I love about the courts is fair hearing. Social media, they are not doing that one.
Yeah, exactly.
As you have come first, you have already win the case.
Yeah, like you said, there are so many people on it.
Yes.
So if I'm willing to go on my Instagram and make a video and say, I was involved in this, then it means I actually have facts, except I just want to come and lie. And that means I'm also willing to come forward and say, okay, if need be, then I'm available.
Hi guys, and welcome to Timeline. My name is Paul, and with me here is
Jonese.
and
Peace,
also
Adewi.
Peace Adewi in the building.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You have a very beautiful smile.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are blushing.
No, I'm not. I
You're
promise
sure?
I'm not.
Okay. Today we'll be talking about social media trial. It's very interesting because the number of people that even use social media in the first place might interest you. Across globe, we have about 4.5 billion people actively using Instagram, with about 60% of them using specifically Twitter and Instagram for activism or also to air their own opinion around the globe today. Today, we have 4.5 billion people using the internet, social media rather, and this estimates to about 50% of the global population. It's very interesting, I must say.
Yeah, that's a very, very wonderful one because a lot of people, a lot of youths, not only youths, in fact, everybody
today uses Instagram. One way, I say Instagram, social media, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, this, that, TikTok. Hey, God. Oh.
I even saw one 4-year-old boy. But
Yes.
let's don't over-exaggerate. Okay, so let's come to the definition of social media trials. What does this really mean? So social media trials refer to the public discussion, judgment or debate over legal or controversial issues that take place on social media platforms. These trials often involve individuals sharing opinions, evidence, or speculation about a case or event before the legal system makes an official ruling. This is a very, very well-detailed
Exactly.
definition.
And usually, the use of social media actually evolved from just connecting with friends and family, creating communities and all of that. That was in 2024 when Facebook first came out. 2004, sorry. Yeah, when Facebook first came out, that was when all of this started. And then, then it was just people connect to old friends, connect to family, share pictures, things like that. And then it evolved after 2024 when 2004 when Twitter came out in 2006 now, now people now started generating their own content. It was more user generated content that were on the social media. Now people air their views about as regards things and all of that.
Yeah.
Then between 2010 and 2020, that was when social media now became a tool for political, for politics, for advocacy, amplifying voices and things like that. And this now has brought us to this era where now sometimes, even before the court says this, there's already a trial. We already have
They've already imagined the person standing in front of everybody.
They've convicted. They are everybody brings exhibits A, exhibits B to the internet, and then at the end of the day, they're like, okay, this guy is guilty or not guilty.
Before they will not start taking
before
it
the court even before the court even knows sometimes in some cases.
Yeah.
From your own perspective, right? Are there any pros, like the positive sides of this particular of these trials being held on social media?
I would say yes. As much as it had like a lot of downsides, I would say it has like positive sides as well, because number one, I would say that it raises awareness to issues. Like you said, for over 4 billion people are on social media. So if something happens in my community or something, normally, maybe just my family members or the community chief might know. But with social media, we can raise it.
Yes.
Like people will, even the judiciary will be involved. Like they already know before it's brought to their table officially. So I feel like it raises like a lot of awareness regarding issues. And you said something about like this person has brought evidence A, evidence B, evidence C. In court, they work with evidence. So if something happens, if you have a phone you've recorded, I have a phone I've recorded, and we've brought it to social media, in courts, we can still take those evidences that we have to them, like, okay, this is what happened. These are the facts. I think you remember the election. Everybody went to their... Yeah. So I would say that for information gathering, for raising awareness, for bringing evidence before courts, definitely it has its pros, but it also has like its cons. But for the positive side of it, I would say it's good to an extent.
I totally agree with you, our barrister. And to add to my own, like, what's the positive side of social media trial? I think this whole amplified voices, just to add up to what she said, you see a case of rape in the rural area. Yeah. Of course, nobody will really know what is happening. Maybe it's only the chief or the parents of the girl and the person involved, that is the rapist that is involved. It's only all those family people that know about it. And most times, justice is not given to that child. But you see somebody that is just passing by or maybe they just told the person, and maybe someone that is educated in quotes lives there with a mobile phone and he's well social medially inclined. He can just like upload it and say what is happening in so community, so place, maybe in Sudan or in so place. And you know, people, one thing I love about people is that when they see that this thing is going a wrong way, they will start pushing it. And that's how they'll keep pushing it until the rightful sources, that is the courts and maybe police or people, get to see that something is really, really happening. Even apart from rape, there are other cases too that people raise alarm on social media and people get justice for it.
Talking about people raising alarm on social media brings me back to real-time accountability.
Yeah.
Before now, things that happen in court has to go through process. After the court, that's when the press, whatever the press tells you, that's what you have to believe.
Of course.
But now, even I think there was this particular one here in Nigeria where it was an election trial, the tribunal, when they were doing it, as it was happening, you will see updates on Twitter. Kept on
people were updating what was happening in their polling units.
It was like it was back to back and back again. Yeah. Let's move on now to the negative side now, because obviously, for every good thing, there has to be a bad thing. Right?
Barrister, why is your head like that?
And I think one of the things that these trials have caused, right, is social bullying and also harassment.
Yeah.
Usually, before now, if someone does anything to you, the right place to go to is the police station, reports, and all of those kind of things. Yeah. But today, we notice that before something has even happened, safe.
He's already out there.
Like, you've seen, you first go on Twitter and then you're like, this person did this to me. Truth or lie, right? They put it out there. And at that moment, already the whole public, the community becomes divided immediately. Because some people will not take this person's side. Some people will take that person's side. And in some cases, right, there will not be, how do I put it now? There will be, this person will say this, that person will say this. Then you now begin to see different stories. Then you now see one person that is an investigator on social media again. And then you now begin to link things with, now they not bring evidence again. And then at the end of the day, the whole public again will not decide that, okay, this person, having done this, having this person said that, this person said that. It's always them say. And then they will not say that, okay, this person is guilty or not guilty. And when they not say that again, there's another aspect of drama again that begins. It comes down, why should this person be guilty? You guys didn't look at it from this side again, and it goes on and on and on like that.
Yeah, the aspect of lack of due process.
Yeah.
That was when our barrister said they've already convicted you. They've passed judgment. I think that's what conviction means.
Yeah.
They've passed
the
judgment.
statement is that every suspect is innocent until
proven
exactly.
guilty. You see somebody that will just upload something on social media, just like you said. Only one thing I love about the courts is fair hearing. Social media, they are not doing that one.
Yeah, exactly.
As you have come first, you have already win the case. Yeah. So if you first
Force
of all come and report, you understand?
Yeah.
It's just bringing me to like back then when I was small. Yeah. Like if my sister beats me or I did something wrong, I'll just go and meet my mommy that I'll start crying that this person beats me. She'll not even ask what happened.
And first report, they always win case.
So
other person is already
this brings me to the whole lack of due process. social media, they don't follow due process. Before you
True
know, they've
that.
already passed judgment. They've already started castigating you. And of course, this actually leads to the person that is even involved, that maybe the other person, Mr. A, came to report Mr. B on social media.
Yes.
And maybe Mr. B is not even like, she does not have anything to do with that particular issue. Maybe she does not really want to like speak up about it. This brings to psychological and emotional damage.
Yes.
And that person, you see people start going into depression.
They have become true.
Yeah.
They are
And
trolls.
of course,
on
and this will
internet.
even lead to suicide.
Yeah.
Yes,
It can
worst
lead to
cases.
high rate of suicide. So
Yes.
people should be like, this whole thing is one of the biggest negative part of
Yeah.
social media trials.
Like he said something about you are presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. That's
Yeah.
why I feel like there's a bit of contrast in the social media trial and what the law actually provides. The constitution has stated that you are innocent. Once you are brought to something, you are presumed
Yeah.
innocent, as if you did not do it at all.
Good.
Till the court has found you guilty. But like you said, social media has already brought their evidence. Twitter has already made their judgments. Everybody has already given their own take. So the person is now guilty until proven innocent. I don't know if you get it. So it takes it
The
It takes it
reverse
back.
of the case.
Yes, because everybody has already said, he did it. For him to have done this, he has already done it.
I know what
So-
can even cause that thing when the person now becomes silent about it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And most times, the actual accused person is silent, except you have family members that can speak for you. Because if you are speaking criminal matters, you are either in police detention or you are already in prison.
That's why we have
So
you
you can't
barrister.
even say your own side of the story, but there's already a narrative that you don't even know, because if you're in prison, you don't even have access to your phones.
Yeah.
But social media has already judged you. So imagine coming out, even if you are granted bail for something you probably did not even do. Imagine coming out and seeing that they've tarnished you, your job, everything. Everybody already sees you in a different light, and then you are now fighting for your innocence. You are trying to prove that, I'm innocent, I didn't do it, right? Because they've already seen that you are guilty, or already labeled you as guilty. Another thing I feel like social media trial does is the misinformation. God,
True that.
I cannot fathom it. Recently, I think we're all familiar with this Falana, VDM, Bobrisky.
Yes.
And then I saw on a particular blog, it's very popular, that the court awarded fine of 500 million for VDM to pay Falana or something. I was
Yeah.
wait, how did this happen? And then I turned to the next slide. And I was reading till I got to the final slide of where they actually posted the court ruling. And the court ruling said nothing about 500 million. Just take down the video, apologize for something. There was no
Yes.
fine, because they can't even give fine because they've not gone to trial. The matter is still, they just brought an ex parte motion to court to restrain him from doing certain things. And then the blog has already said, we've
This is what
already
the
done
court
trial.
said.
The court has already given judgments that you should pay 500 million. And there was nothing in the judgment that said that. Today again, I saw something that said something about NSAS protester released after 11 weeks. I was now confused, NSAS was 2020. How did they arrest somebody
11 weeks.
weeks and
11
weeks? And then I swiped again. I saw that it was end bad governance. So if you don't even go to the next slide, you are just consumed so much misinformation,
And
and then you begin to carry up and
barrister,
down.
most of all these captions, it will just
it's-
throw you off
yeah.
balance.
It takes you off.
You understand? And most people don't even have the patience to read the main story.
Yes,
They will just
yes.
dwell on that catchy headline, and that's
and then
the end
they
of
spread
it.
it. So I
Exactly.
feel like those are the bad sides. Of
Okay,
the whole-
so now let's talk about cases now.
Like
That-
real-time cases that
real-time
actually
cases
made it
that has actually
to Before we talk about all of these real-time cases, I think we should go on a break. And once we come back, we'll take it from there. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, let's face it, our world today experiences numerous challenges. And guess what? Our community isn't off the hook either. Most of the world issues are either not talked about enough or never talked about at all. But here on Timeline, we've got you covered. We dive deep into issues that affect us every day, leaving behind footprints of wisdom, knowledge, and solutions. Think of it like a roadmap that keeps you on the track for success. So buckle up, because in this new season of Timeline, we're taking another trip through the past, the present, and navigate into a more promising future. Again, we're talking solutions, people. And let's make one thing clear. This is not your average blah, blah, blah convo. This is real talk with a side of inspiration and a sprinkle of wow. I never thought about it like that. I'm your host on this impactful ride. Together, we'll tackle the tough stuff, laugh a little, and find ourselves on the path to positive change. So what are you waiting for? Season 2 of Timeline will be loaded. Let's get started. Hop in, and let's drive straight into the heart of issues shaping our world. Let's go. Oh, one more thing. Hit that subscribe button and let's take this ride together. Every day, amazing stories of hope and tenacity unfold across the globe. On Hued Hour, we dive into these inspiring tales and discuss the vital work being done in the humanitarian and development space. Humanity has never faced a shortage of challenges, yet we rise stronger through teamwork and determination. Though these remedies are often underreported, on Hued Hour, we advocate sustainable solutions. We bring you the latest and most impactful news on how lives are being changed. We engage with young change makers and experts who provide valuable insights into relief efforts and the challenges faced by local communities through a global perspective. Join us every Wednesday by 8 a.m. on Hued Network's YouTube channel as we embark on this journey of positive change.
Yeah, welcome back. This is the Timeline. My name is Paul, and with me here was Joan, and also we have Peace in the building. Today we're talking about social media trial, and now we're moving on to high-profile cases that's made it to social media. That people had brought this side of the story, they brought the other side. There has been the prosecutor, there has been the defense as well, and then there's a public judge now. There's no judge per se. There's a public judge now say that, okay, this person is guilty. And I think one of such is the story of popular singer R. Kelly. R. Kelly in 2021 was convicted for sexual assault, sexual charges, and also racketeering.
Yeah.
And it was found out that, but again, the case was so out there that before the court even started at all, right?
They had already concluded.
Everybody had concluded that this guy is guilty. And you see, one very interesting thing about social media and all of these things is that once they are saying someone is guilty, they're backing up with different kind of evidences, whether true or not. And I remember that survivors of this particular issue actually came out then with the hashtag Mute R. Kelly. During that's 2021 when this case was actually in court.
It brings a lot of, I won't say false, but it just brings a lot of narratives around the issue. Yeah. Like you said, now there are so many people that have come out to say, oh, he did it to me. I was involved. I was not involved. Nobody knows how true it is. Yeah. But I, for one, would say that except you are deliberately trying to bring somebody down, you won't go out of your way publicly to say, oh, this person did it to me. That brings me back to a bit positive side of social media. Okay. Now, normally, if you're in court, is on the lawyer to gather evidence and bring before the court. Now, social media has made it a bit easy for him because we have a lot of people that have come to say, oh, I was involved in this. So you don't have to go and search the village or anybody for people that will come and testify. You can go to the posts on social media and find the people that were saying that, oh, they are willing to say he did it to me. I'm a witness in this. So with this whole Diddy issue, I wouldn't say it's totally negative on social media, but it just brings to the fact that there are people that are willing to back up their claims and come forward to say, oh, this is it. Because social media, like you said, there are so many people on it. Yes. So if I'm willing to go on my Instagram and make a video and say, oh, I was involved in this, then it means I actually have facts, except I just want to come and lie. And that means I'm also willing to come forward and say, okay, if need be, then I'm available.
I like that statement you made, willing to come forward, because some people are being paid to come and lie.
Yeah, exactly.
He did it to me. Okay, yeah, come and testify now. Sorry, I'm not available.
Some are not even being paid. Some just... There's this popular word that we call clout on social media. Some just want to chase clout. They just want to have they don't want to collect Elon Musk's money on X, you know,
and get so many clicks.
Exactly. Yeah. And that case again, that was very interesting. So even the point that it says streaming the whole session, like what was how was going on in courts and everything was Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. This one was so interesting to the fact that people will literally pay to watch what was actually going on in court. If today now, if you should go and search, if I just search social media trial, one of the videos that will pop up is this
Johnny
Johnny Depp's video. Like you see them how they testified in court, and this also story started from when that was Amber. Now when she after that divorce and she accused him of being abusive in the marriage and all of that, and then it went on and on and on, and then up to 2020, this story now found its way back to the internet, and then people say it's trending hashtag justice for Johnny Depp, and it was a very interesting one. I must say.
Okay, so barrister, let us
Can
ask
you
you.
call me peace? I've been meaning to say peace.
Well, you're still a barrister now.
Yes,
You
we'll
should-
just call me
I
She's
feel
an humble barrister. as
Okay,
well.
humble barrister.
Yeah.
Okay, humble barrister, please. Okay, I think at this point now, this is where Nigerians, or will I say the world, are very, very crucial to hear from you as a person, as a legal practitioner. How or what is the connection between the people on social media, their whole agitations and how everything they used to say? Does it affect or influence the court's judge or the judgment rather of the judge in the court?
I won't say it does.
Okay.
Because the court is a very sacrosanct entity. They don't work with what everybody's saying. It's what
Yes,
you bring
bring-
before me that I look at. If you can, I don't know why I'm casting my mind back to the election, but if you remember, the judge said something around, do you want us to go and fetch evidence in the market for you?
Yeah.
So it's what you bring before me. As much as Nigerians are shouting, everybody saying, no, this is what happened. This is what we can see. This is the evidence before us. As much as they are human and they might want to have some kind of empathy or like, I'm against this towards particular cases, there's like a guideline. You can't come to court and just say you hear something from your head. If you are coming to court to address the judge, you are backing up what you are saying with the constitution or whatever relevant law in that place. So I won't say social media actually affects the decision of the court in any way. It just makes it, I would say, popular, makes the case popular, makes the judge know that, okay, our eyes are on the court to hear his decision, but it doesn't in any way now say, oh, because they are shouting outside or because Nigeria is all over, then I'll give my decision in their favor. No, it definitely does not.
Okay. And that thing again, because now this is the judge now. So now let's talk about places where there's a jury system in place. Because everybody has a phone.
Yeah.
You cannot say that I should not go to my phone to read a story. In fact, before I became a member of the jury itself, I've heard of this story already. I've seen it already.
Yeah.
And already have my own personal bias to this particular story. In court systems, in legal systems
Where they have the jury system.
exactly. How well do you think or how do they cope all of this?
To be honest, I won't say it's totally curbed because, like I said, everybody's still human. In
Yeah.
places where we are not using the jury, you have to, if I'm giving a judgment, it has to be in line with the constitution or whatever law.
Yes.
But if I'm using a jury system, is what the jury feels. Is eventually is maybe like 10 members of the jury have said this against 2, and then the 10 goes.
Yes.
So it's basically what they feel, what they know. So to a large extent, I feel like social media trials will actually affect the jury system more than it will affect countries that do not use the jury system. So I feel like it definitely has a great influence on, because for instance, I might have experienced something like that before.
Yes.
Maybe if we're talking about rape and I'm in the jury and I've been raped before, I'm
Already,
angry
you're-
at the
you're already
rapist
biased
already.
already.
Yes. So to a large extent, but if I'm in a court that I have to work with like the law, even if I've been raped before, if the evidence before me does not provide that this person actually did it, then there's nothing I can do. But if it is a jury system, I feel like there's a little bit of bias around.
So now let's talk about how social media has actually influenced some political reforms. Because obviously, you cannot say that with the way to the social media is. There obviously, we mentioned that it has some pros as well. And so, like, what are those things that you feel like it has been able to do in regards to the political space?
I feel like, okay, for instance, I will use these. I don't know if you heard about the fact that there was a time that they were passing a bill this year, I guess, to pass the death sentence on people that carry drugs or drug offenses totally.
Yeah.
And then there was a public outcry. Like, why would you, for instance, I don't know if you push it or stuff, but if you are caught with maybe a very little quantity of harmful drugs, you'll be passed, like the death sentence will be on you. So there was a lot of public outcry, like it shouldn't be. Until now, it has not been passed. So I feel like to a very large extent, social media has like a great influence on policies, on reforms than it has on the court system. Because in the end, the law is meant to be for the people. So if the law that you are trying to pass does not favor the people, then I don't think it should be passed. So if you hear the opinions on people, because like it's not a secret. If there's a bill being passed, you hear the minimum wage bill, everybody hears about it. So if there's a bill being passed in the Senate, you hear about it. So through like public opinions, which are on social media, then I feel like they can influence the policies and the laws that are coming into play.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Like for me, right, I feel like so there have been some movement actually. For example, we had the Black Lives Matter in 2020. You know, when that was during time of George Floyd, right after he died, and all of that. Let me breathe, things like that. And that particular movement, I think the police officer was actually charged to court at the end of the day. And trust me now that people on the media, they didn't stop at that. They ensured that this man went to jail. But again, you said that the court is outside the system. But in truth, is it really outside the system? Does the court not see the social media?
The court does. But social media does not influence the decision of the courts. The judges have phones. The lawyers have phones. Everybody sees what's going on. But whatever is going on does not influence the decision of the courts. So
there are some evidences that on social media that are usually brought to...
Now, that way, it's brought before the courts as a clear evidence before the court. So that's what influences it, not what people are saying, but what is brought before the judge.
Okay, so let's talk about laws now probably that can be put in place to curb all of this now to stop people from having, I won't say having opinions because that would be
unfair.
Exactly, that would actually be unfair. So how do we curb people from not? How do I put this now? Or how do we limit this social media trial?
Okay, so I would say in Nigeria, there are actually some laws that already provide for that. For instance, the Criminal Code Act only provides for defamation of character. I think in section 373 or so, it provides that if you are like, you should not release or state any defamatory sentence to maybe slander or bring down the reputation of a person. It must not be to the hearing of the person and to the hearing of another. If I begin to think in my heart now that you're just a very bad person, you don't like, you're just bad. So far nobody hears it, I'm fine. But if I say it to you, I've defamed you. If I say it to her, even if you're not there, I've defamed you. And the law also provides that if I'm guilty of that, I'll be sentenced to 1 year in prison. But if I'm guilty of deliberately doing it, knowing that it's false, then I'll be charged to 2 years. But if I'm guilty of doing it with the intent to collect money, maybe she has paid me that defamed this guy for me, then that's a felony and I'll be charged to 7 years. So I would say that the law already provides for things like that. But at the same time, the law gives us freedom of expression in the Constitution, I think 39 or so. It already provides that everybody has a right to express themselves, whichever form you can put. So there's no way we can curb social media fully because everybody needs to express themselves. But there are also some laws that are already put in place. You can express yourself, but this is where I draw the line. So you can say whatever you want to say, you can publish whatever you want to publish. But when it comes to the point of saying I won't say bad things, but saying defamatory words about somebody, then that's where I draw the line. So I would say that there are already laws that have provided for that.
Yeah. Also, that's Nigeria. And also globally, right, we know of the EU General Data Protection Regulation that regulates online privacy and ensures and also includes concepts of sharing whatever information, data sharing. And violating this would cost, I think you'll be charged with fine of up to 20 million euros or 4% of the global revenue.
Me, I don't get to that stage in my life because what am I supposed to explain? Like, where am I supposed to get the money from?
Exactly.
Even though we know that thing you talked about for the whole 500 million stuff, like I was just thinking in my head because I saw that post as well. Like, where will he get this kind of money from?
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
just on the side now, the offenders paid fine that they are to pay according to the court. Like probably court says that okay, you have to pay 100 million. The offenders pay.
If it's a fine, then it's a fine or a prison sentence.
Okay.
So mostly, if you are sentenced to a fine, it's either, for instance, we had some intervention recently in Suleja. We had to pay the fines of some people. So we're paying their fines. Some were sentenced to 3 months, and some were sentenced to 3 months imprisonment or a fine of 50,000 naira.
Yeah.
So it's all. If you can't do your sentence, you pay the fine. But yes, they actually take the fine.
So don't be angry. Where does this money go to?
You pay it in the courts. Or you pay it through the correctional. I wouldn't say.
Let me know if I will start applying.
Okay, now let's take a few of your recommendations. So and probably on the more ethical side now, so that we are more like your final statements.
Okay,
on
I
all
would
of this
say that
issue.
firstly, confirm before you post. Something can happen here right now, and I'll just post it immediately.
Yeah.
Like social media has now turned to the point where there's an accident going on, and maybe you start recording. You've not even checked if the person is fine.
Yes.
So I feel like people should just little fact checking before you put it out there. That a girl was raped in my area. Just confirm before you just put it out there. So I would say that number one, fact checking, and then number two, there should be no need to intentionally want to jump on the conversation to spread lies.
Yeah.
If maybe a conversation is going on around some issues, you don't know anything about it, it's okay to keep quiet. You don't have to trend. You don't have to post things for people to like. It's okay to just let me relax and even hear what people are saying. I will also say that if you are going to put something out there, as long as you have, fact checked, you should have the audacity to say, okay, I did it. I was there. If need be, for us to come to court or for us to do some kind of thing, I'm available. Right? There should be no me putting it out there and then going to hide or using a fake page. You know this thing happened. You were there when it happened. You've put it out there. Come out and say it. Right? There's no need to hide under fake pages because there are so many. If you go through comment section of pages, you just see different rubbish. You obviously know that these pages are not even existing.
Yeah.
So it's okay to, I was there when it happened and I'm putting it out there that this has happened. So I would say you fact check before you post something. You have the audacity to come forward to say, I said this. And then if you don't know anything about the matter, just keep quiet. The comment section does not have to have 5,000 comments. It's okay to calm down and read 100 comments to just get like information about what is going on. That's what I feel.
Okay, I think like what you just said is just it, the top notch of it. And secondly, what I want to add, there's something I heard about the courts, they talk about it like contempt of court. Yeah, like you don't invade privacy and all that. So this is me bringing it to individualism now. Respect people. Like there should be boundary. Yeah. You don't just see what is going on in somebody's life and just start putting it out there. The person did not send you. Even the person that is happening to, as far as the person have the like capacity to put it out there by his or herself, and the person chose not to. Why are you doing it for the person? Did the person send you? No. So just stay away from people's privacy, people's business. In other words, mind your business. Like Oyo should be your state, like from now and forever. So except maybe it's now in time of maybe domestic violence and you see that the person cannot help himself anymore. Most times people even take permission. Can I do this? And if the person say, okay, go ahead, then you go ahead and do it with the person's backing. Because when they come to start asking questions, you say, the person actually asked me to do it and you're cleared. And also, in as much as I believe that there's freedom of speech, but for my own, there's no freedom after speech. Yes, I can defend it anyway. There are limits to things you should say on social media. If you cross the line, trust me, these officials, forces, they are coming for you.
The line will come after you. I think the main thing here that we should all note at the end of the day is that social media is not the court, and no trial should be held on social media. If you have any issue whatsoever, it's important that you follow the right channel and go and report as at when you get a lawyer if need be, or go to the police and let them direct you on what to do. Don't come and tell us your story on the social media. Well, you can do that after, but not, and you shouldn't discuss, I know that you shouldn't discuss details of whatever is going on in court. Yeah. I know of that, so that you don't enter trouble as well. I'm helping you in this one now.
Do not come and carry
Exactly. I don't want them to carry you. You are very important to me. But at the end of the day, ensure that you go through due process. For everything that there is, for every offense that there is, according to the law, there's a way to report them all. And I think UNESCO also encourages that there should be more media advocacy so that people are aware of news that are fake and also are able to... In fact, right now on Twitter, right, if someone should post something that is fake, right, you see under its disclaimer, this thing is so. And I particularly love that particular one that Twitter is doing there. I think that's all we're able to take today on Timeline. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
My name remains Paul and me here was
Joe Oneze.
Until we meet again. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.